What's up, you guys? It is your boy Cam. Welcome to another episode of the Football Frame of Mind Time Machine, man. We're going back in time using Pro Football Reference, man. They have all the stats that you need, they have everything that you want when you're trying to look up stats, right? Trying to win an argument, going back and forth with your homies. This is what you use, right? So, I wanted to create something different, to diversify our catalog, our content library, man. We usually do a what if series, man, but those are usually hit or miss. It's more of an off season thing, when you're trying to find content or whatever, man. So, just doing something a little different, man. Um, Hopefully, y'all enjoy part one because this is part two, right? Trying to keep them an hour, so people won't just be like, well, damn, he just keeps on talking. Well, guess what? I'm sorry. I love football. So, fuck you. I'm just kidding. Nah, but y'all know what it is, man. Y'all get that like and subscribe, man. We really appreciate it, man. We're closing in on 100 million views in 2 years, man. That's crazy, man. Crazy production, crazy views, man. We've dropped like almost 8,000 videos, man. If you count the shorts, count the long view, count the lives, man. Brandon takes care of the post and stuff, man. Keeping y'all engaged with the votes, getting y'all comments and concerns in there, man. So y'all let y'all voice be heard, man. Get in there, interact with each other, right? Even though we don't interact with every comment, right? Because some of y'all just be talking shit. Like, for real. Some of y'all be talking shit. Y'all act like y'all teachers or something. Like, y'all sit there and be like, hey, man, you ain't spell this right. Like, bro, this is an informal platform. If you using correct grammar on here, you in the wrong spot. Okay, you probably didn't even use that grammar in school your damn self. So don't try to come in here correcting people because they using slang. So fucking what? Grow the fuck up. This is an informal thing. Okay. Now, if we were talking in suits and ties, then guess what? Then maybe I would use periods, commas, and exclamation points and shit. But I'm not doing it. Anyway, I've got off my soapbox, right? So this is part two. We're going to continue our series of the time machine, man. So we stopped at 1962. So we're gonna finish that up, right? Because some stuff that I didn't really get into, right? But we're gonna get into that, and we're gonna continue, man. So without further ado, man, let's get into it. Let's get into it, right? So I was just saying that I didn't really get a chance to talk about the rookie of the year in 1962. Ronnie Bull, man. So Ronnie Bull, Kingsville, Texas, my bad. Came in the league gunning. This is the NFL. So he's rookie of the year, right? But like you can just tell, like it just I don't know. It just felt like it wasn't like I don't know. It just wasn't fun for real, man. Like I don't know, dog. Like Merlin Olsen didn't win rookie of the year. Like I don't know, man. Like this don't seem as fun. Like, yeah, Bobby Mitchell goes the fuck off, and Jim Taylor goes the fuck off, right? In fact, Bobby Mitchell probably should have won. I don't know, but I just like, yo, it's just nasty. Like, I don't know, just like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like stupid, like impressive, right? But if you go like Cookie fucking Gilchrist is like MVP and he's about to run rookie of the year. Like what like what are we doing? So that's my whole thing, man. Just wanted to touch on that real quick, man. But let's get into 1963, man. Let's get into 1963, right? We're getting closer and closer to the merger. So you want to go AFL, NFL, so everything's kind of right down the middle, right? But let's go like I said, let's go 1963. 1963, the Chicago Bears win the championship this year. So let's see who they got, man. So the Packers obviously are still good, but they had just come off winning 2 in a row. So they end up losing. They end up losing. Was that week 16? So they end up Chicago, not Chicago, but the Packers didn't make it to the championship game, but the Giants made it to the title game for the third year in a row, and they lost. But this one was way closer than the last two, right? But they couldn't get it done, man. The Giants lose to George Halas's Bears. Let's see. So Frank Gifford, the legendary Frank Gifford, gets a touchdown. The Bears tie it up with a rushing touchdown. And then Don Chandler kicks a field goal for the Giants. They have the lead going, into halftime. And then Billy Wade gets it and runs it in. And that's it. That's it, man. They played this game in 4-degree weather. God damn. That's too cold, man. That's too cold, man. But why Tittle, man? Just couldn't he, man? In these title games, man, why Tittle just be playing? They be stopping him. But Billy Wade didn't do that good either, man. But this was a defensive drag out fight, man. They was out there getting it in. They was getting it in, man. Like they was getting it in on defense, bro. That's crazy though. But the Bears get it done. They win the title in 1963, the NFL championship, man. So that's a close game, man. Close game, man. Right after Christmas too. So that's pretty good. So you end up Y.A. Tittle is your MVP, Jim Brown is your UPI MVP, newspaper MVP, sporting news. So I guess MVP, I don't know. So for me, I guess if you got all these MVPs, I guess the person that gets the most is unanimous MVP or some shit like that. I'm not really sure how that shit works. But Y.A. Tittle got an MVP as well. So usually the AP is like the big one. That's like the big one. So let's see, man. So who led the league in passing? So let's see. So Fran Tarkenton, this is what year is this for him? Fran Tarkenton, 23 years old. This is year 3 for him. So he's starting to establish himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the league at this point, man. Not like crazy good because we're in 1963, so the league is completely different. But he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league, man. He's starting to establish himself, is doing pretty good, man. Then Charlie Johnson, 25, man. Then you got Johnny Unitas in this thing, man. Johnny Unitas, 30, still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like I said, the Y.A. Tittle, 36 touchdown passes. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And he won MVP that season, as we talked about, right? So he's good, right? And then Roman Great Gabriel, you see he's on our intro, right? He's the Rams quarterback at this particular time, right? So this is year 2 for him. So he's on the list, right? 5-4 that season. Up and down. He hasn't really come into his own yet. But you can tell he's one of those ones, man. I want to say he went to, I forgot what school he went to. Was it NC State? I think it was NC State. But he was really good in college too. So yeah. So you see a couple guys on the list, man. But Earl Morrall is with the Lions and he's good. So yeah, man. So let's get into some rushing. Who led the league in rushing, man? So In 62, Jim Taylor beat Jim Brown in terms of rushing yards. He beat him. And he won MVP in 62. But 63 was all about Jim Brown. Jim Brown said, "You will not beat me again." And he just went the fuck off. Let's just say that. Like he took that personal, as Michael Jordan said in his documentary. I took that personal. And he did. 1,800 yards, 12 touchdowns on 6.4 yards a carry, which is diabolical. That means he was running. And he got 20 attempts a game, bro. So they were feeding him the ball, And they went 10-4. Blatton Collier, that's an old school coach right there, bro. He was around for a long time, bro. A long time. Coaching in Kentucky, assistant coach at Navy. He was a backfield coach for the Browns, so he had them boys running. Then he went to Kentucky. I want to say Bear Bryant might have been on his staff. Might have been. I'm not sure. Gotta go back and look. But he goes to Kentucky, and that's might be Kentucky's like best years per se. Maybe. I'm not sure for real. But I remember him being pretty out there in terms of like the greatest coaches in SEC history. Like people say his name a lot. So, but then, he comes back to the Browns, man. He's a head coach and all of that. So, Forrest Gregg. So, like I said, some good shit, man. Good shit. This shit's with Cleveland. We'll get him to 64. But they were pretty good that season. They're pretty good. And Jim Brown was pretty much a big reason for it, Big reason for that. Art Modell. So I believe this is like around the time that they start breaking up the Browns, because everybody remembers Paul Brown, right? It was pretty much his team, right? As you see in 62, I think this is around the time they start breaking up, and then Art Modell bought the whole ownership basically from Paul Brown, or basically kicked him out, which is why he moved to Cincinnati and shit like that, right? But you can tell they did a little different, but Art Modell is owner still, and then I think, like I said, they ended up breaking up. So we're in 63 now, right? So I want to say Blatton Collier being a backfield coach, right? So I guess you say running backs, backfield, flankers, all that shit, right? So I want to say he went to more of a I think he went to more of a let's just feed our best player and see how we fucking go. And that's really what happened, baby. And you can tell they went all in on Jim Brown. And it worked. It worked wonders. So, like I said, Art Modell is like now, I guess you say, the main guy. Everything. So the GM head coach thing was separate. So there you go. But Jim Brown definitely leads the league in rushing this year, in receiving. Bobby Mitchell, another great season for him. Pro Bowl, probably should have been all pro, honestly. I'm not sure why he was not, because Dell got 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns, but my man's was absolutely crazy in terms of yards per game, yards, longest touchdown, yards per reception is still pretty good. Like, come on, you could have went Terry Barr, as like a first team All Pro, but who knows, man. And shout out Gail Cogdill, man. He's still kicking it, rookie of the year, like a couple years ago. So we got Mike Dick on here. Let's see, John Mackey. Like, this is the John Mackey. So when you're looking at the end of the year in college football, They have a tight end award. It's called the John Mackey Award. This is John Mackey. Okay. John Mackey is one of the most revolutionary tight ends in the game, right? So at this point, you got Mike Ditka, who's one of those ones. Then you got John Mackey, who revolutionized the tight end position even further, right? Giving Johnny Unitas another target to throw to, giving Earl Morrall a very good target to throw to. Like, he's one of the best tight ends ever. And when you talk about stretching the field as a tight end, when you talk about stretching the field, this is who I'm talking about when I say revolutionizing the game, right? You see a lot of guys around this time, right? So just to put this into context, right? So people understand what I'm saying. When I say revolutionizing the tight end position, I'm not just saying being able to catch the ball, block, or whatever. I'm talking about stretching the field, right? So yeah, you can look at things in a microscope and just be like, oh, well, that was just the scheme or the team we're on. No. When I say revolutionizing a position, after you do something well, then everybody starts to do it, right? So I would say, in my opinion, if we're talking about the tight ends of this era, if we're talking about Mike Ditka in a sense, Mike Ditka revolutionized the tight end position as a position that you can give the ball to, right? Not just a blocker for us to run with, right? He became a target in the passing game. Now, the difference between him and John Mackey is John Mackey revolutionized the vertical use of the tight end. And I'm gonna put it in a bowl right now. Okay. So look at Mike Ditka's yards per reception at this point, right? Still all pro, still very good, right? But John Mackey dwarfs him in yards per reception, right? So for the youngsters out there, right? You probably pay attention to the yards, you probably pay attention to the touchdown, probably pay attention to the receptions, right? But pay attention to the yards per reception, okay? So yeah, you can say, well, he only caught like 35 passes, but all of them passes was damn near downfield, and he was catching them shits for chunks, okay? And when you got a person that you can attack the defense with that give you chunk plays, that that is revolutionary, right? Yeah, it's cool. You get the first downs and things like that. But being up with receivers like Bobby Mitchell that have speed, and then like I said, don't know nothing much about Gail Coddill, but I know for a fact that the last few years that I've been looking at, even up here in yards, okay, yards per reception. So that's revolutionary. This is his first season in the league, and he already changing the game. And as you can see, as his career goes on and he keeps getting, older or whatever, the yards go down. But those first 3 years he played in the league, from like 63 to 65, he had like 20 yards per reception. That's revolutionary. And the Colts had a lot of success during this time, including a couple Super Bowl appearances, couple title game appearances. So yeah, he was very important to the growth of the tight end. Both of them were, in that respect. So like I said, man, this is his first year and you get a Pro Bowl in year one, right? Back when the Pro Bowl meant something. But yeah, so let's get into some defense, man. Let me check some defense shit out, man. Yeah, let me check some defense shit out, man. Let's see. So, like I said, sacks weren't official, but Jim Cavalcade, man, like, I mean, what are we doing here, bro? Like, with the Giants, obviously, it's tough to crack that lineup throughout the 50s and 60s, right? The 50s anyway, the late 50s. It's tough to crack that lineup because the Giants were pretty fucking good. You know what I'm saying? Jim Lee Howe, so they lost in the title game right in 59. But, like they was pretty good. It was pretty good, man. Like that's pretty good. I forgot what year. I forgot what year they won the title. It was one of them years they won. I forgot which one it was. I can't remember. But yeah, they won one year. But you see two important names on this roster right now, right? In terms of coaching. You see Vince Lombardi was the offensive coordinator and Tom Landry was the defensive coordinator, right? Two of the greatest coaches in league history. Now, don't get me wrong, Jim Lee Howe was quite important. He was. He was important too because they won. They won a few times under him, right? But having those two assistants makes it easier to coach, right? And they won a lot of games. They didn't win a bunch of championships, but they was in that thing, and that's what matters, man. And like I said, Tom Landry and Vince Lombardi really put that shit together, especially in '56. So, but yeah, but like I said, man, you end up having 11 sacks, 16, 20, 13. So this 4-year stretch is fucking crazy. Like that's crazy, man. That's crazy production. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? Doug Atkins was another dude that was really good, man, on the Bears. Right? So like he was good, man. Lamar Lundy. Like come on, man. He was good. Willie Davis, he was good. Some names on here that I remember. Rosie Greer, a part of that Rams team, man, with Deacon Jones and shit. Bob Lilly. Like, come on, man. This is young Bob Lilly, man. Young Bob Lilly, man. Like, these are names that would be bigger later on, in my opinion. I think they would be bigger names in the 70s more so than anything. Like I said, Bob Lilly throughout the late 60s was one of those ones. Right? So we'll get into that a little later, but definitely some names on this list that's good. Interceptions. You got Dick Lynch on the Giants around this time. Like, 9 interceptions, first team all pro. First team all pro. You got a lot of dudes on there, man. You got some really good players, man. Herb Adderley still on there. 26-year-old Dick LeBeau. Like, come on, man. He's one of the greatest defensive coaches ever. But he was also one of the greatest defensive players ever, right? And he was just starting to get into his bag, in terms of being real good. Look at some of these numbers as he gets older. He's 1963, right? So you look at it 5, 5, 7, 4, 4, 5, 6, 9, 6. Like, come on, man. Dude is fucking the league up right now. And he played on Detroit, and Detroit had an okay team, but not like that. So yeah. Led the league in touchdowns though. Dick Lynch. Okay, cool. Yeah, Dick Haley. Sam Huff. Like, come on, man. Sam Huff is like 29, bro, but he like hella good. He like hella good. Like, defensive player getting MVP 3s and 4s. Like, that's crazy good. Like, Sam Huff is one of my dogs, man. I fucks with Sam Huff, man. But yeah, man, let's get into some AFL, man. Let's see what the AFL got to offer, man. All right, so in the AFL, man, the Chargers ended up winning the title. Yeah, they ended up winning the title. Um, let me see that shit last time. Divisional round. What's on the divisional round? Okay, so So they didn't have that. Okay, so they didn't have that. So this is, I want to say, because I didn't see that last year. Okay, so in 63, they started the divisional round, which was, I guess, an extension of the playoffs, right? Which shows why the AFL might have worked without them even merging. You know, that's all I'm saying. I think it would have worked. But the championship, so it looks like, so it looks like the top three teams make it. That's what I'm kind of feeling right here. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of feeling. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of feeling in 63. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of feeling. I'm kind of feeling I'm kind of feeling the top three teams make it, right? The top three teams make it to the playoffs. And then the top seed get a bye. And the top team get a bye. Or yeah, the Chargers who had the best record get the bye. And then boom, those two teams play. Or from what I'm seeing, it's a tiebreaker. That was a tiebreaker. So it seemed like because they tied in the regular season, they had to play one game, which turned out to be a divisional playoff game, right? Which opened up the expansion of the playoffs, in my opinion, almost by accident. Now, not to say that they probably didn't even have this on their docket already, but it turned out that this might have started kickstarting like, yo, let's extend the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but that shit worked though. That shit worked. All right, cool. So the Boston Patriots, shout out to my boy Brandon. They ended up winning the AFL. Getting that divisional win, I guess. And they beat the shit. They beat the shit out of the Buffalo Bills, man. Buffalo Bills only only got 8 points. That's it. They beat the shit out of them. And then we get to the championship game with the Chargers, and the Chargers beat the shit out of them. Sorry, Brandon. But they beat the shit out of them, man. So, like I said, this is the Lance Allworth years. So Lance Allworth ended up with 4 catches for 77 yards. But Keith Lincoln is the one that did the damage, man. 7 catches, a $123 and a touchdown. Yeah, that's nasty. They had 2 quarterbacks. Well, shit, I would have 2 quarterbacks playing too. If I beat the shit out of somebody 51-10, my starting quarterback ain't playing all game. So yeah, you got something in there. But they made it though. They made it, man. So that was pretty cool. All right, let's get into some stats, man. Let's see who led the AFL in yards. George Blanda again. Goddamn. Jack Kemp. Okay, so Pittsburgh in 57. Okay, so Jack Kemp, Len Dawson's on that list. Tom Flores. Yeah, Tom Flores. Yeah, he was cold, man. Yeah, he was good. And he turned out to be a pretty good coach too. Yeah, he came out to be a pretty good coach, man. And he actually was he actually turned out to be a pretty good coach, and he's actually the first minority coach to win a Super Bowl. So He was I want to say I forgot what his nationality was, but I think it was obviously I think it's Hispanic. But yeah, he's the first minority coach to win a Super Bowl. So he was good, but I did not know he was an executive though. Damn, so he was the GM of the Seahawks. Okay, and then he turned to be a head coach too. He said, "Okay, well I'm the GM, so I'll just be the coach too." And you can't really tell him no because he won two Super Bowls. In 1980 and 83. So you can't really tell him that no, you can't be the head coach because you can do it. It's just those teams were really, really bad. They were bad. Yeah, they were bad. But he is responsible for. Um, he is responsible for Cortez Kennedy winning Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, like he picked him up, so he was pretty good. They just were bad, man. That's all. That's all. They was just in a weird space, man. But shout out Tom Flores, man, being one of those ones, man. Let's see who else. Anybody young on this motherfucker? Daryl LaMonica. Daryl LaMonica was pretty good on the Raiders too. I remember him on the Raiders. Yeah, I remember that name. He's on Buffalo. Let's see. Anybody else? Cookie Gilchrist, MVP and shit. Throwing passes. Abner. I remember nobody else on there. Touchdowns. Lynn Dawson led them in touchdowns. George Blanda got 3,000. See George Blanda, man. George Blanda played a long ass time too. And he's like a punter too. Let me see. Damn. So he played till he's like 31, right? He played in the NFL. And he couldn't really get his footing for real. That's what it looks like. Like it seemed like he was just there. He wasn't necessarily doing shit. He was on the Bears and shit. Yeah, like he's on the Bears, but he wasn't necessarily doing nothing. So he retired in '59. And then the AFL starts in 1960. And then he just like, oh shit, well I can fucking play. And he wins like 2 championships in a row and gets to 3 title games and still leads the league in passing 2 years in a row. Well, 2 years. Touchdowns, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, man? He also led the league in interceptions too, because that's 42 interceptions. That's a lot. But he's out there gunning though. You know, yeah, he's out there gunning. That's for sure. And this is all at 30. This is in his 30s, bro. He's in his 30s, right? That's crazy, George Blanda. You a fool for that one. That's crazy. I like that shit. All right, so Clem Daniels leads the Oakland Raiders, leads the league in rushing in 1963. Clem Daniels, remember that name, Clem Daniels. Okay, so he's all pro, all of that. The Pro Bowler, All Star. Cookie Gilchrist is still doing his thing, so he was OJ before OJ. So he was doing pretty good. So let's see. I think Billy Cannon was on the Oakland team, wasn't he? Wasn't he? So we in the Al Davis era now. Yeah, we in Al Davis era now. 63. Yep, 63. Al Davis is now the head coach and the general manager of the Raiders, man. Yeah, I fucks with that. Yep. So he's a head coach in 63. This is when he takes over the Raiders. So he's a head coach and GM, right? And then y'all see he starts to this is his team now. This is his team. His team. Right? 66, he buys the minority share 72. He's the number one guy. He owns the whole team. So, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy, man. Then he got them boys good in the 2000s. And they just fucking fell apart, man. Just fell apart, man. Some of these years were just rough, man. Especially when he passed, man. That was tough. Because they was turning the corner a little bit. Something was going right. But that's what happens, man. That's what happens sometimes. But like I said, Al Davis takes over as the head coach and the GM at this point, man. But that's not what I wanted to look at. That's not what I wanted to look at. What I wanted to look at was the backfield. I wanted to see who was in a backfield. I wanted to see if Billy Cannon was on that team. Yeah, because he did play with the Raiders for a while. But he ain't on there yet, so he's still with Houston. All right. So, receiving, man. So, Art Powell, man. Art Powell on the damn, on the Raiders, man. So, he with the New York Titans, who turned into, I want to say, the New York Jets. And Slinging Sammy Ball. Man, shout out Slinging Sammy Ball, man. One of the best players, man, of his era, man. Of the 30s, 40s, yeah, 30s, 40s, 50s. But yeah, he was, in my opinion, Sammy Ball was like revolutionary of the forward pass. Like, he was one of the ones that was slinging it, which is his nickname, right? But he was throwing the ball downfield when people was like, "What are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? Why are you throwing the ball down there? That was Sammy Ball. He was ahead of his time, man. But he was the coach he was a coach, man. That's pretty cool, man. See, I love doing shit like this. You find stuff out all the time, man. But Art Powell, man. Shout out to Art Powell, man. He had a really good run with Oakland, man. Couple seasons, he's 1,000 yards. So yeah, nice run, especially the way they was passing the ball, man. So yeah, they was throwing that thing, man. That's what it looked like in Oakland. They was running that thing, man. So let's see, Fred Glick, man. All right, Fred Glick, Houston Oilers, man. 12 interceptions. Jesus, like they ain't learned their lesson. Like, don't throw over there because he keep picking off all the passes, man. What about sacks, man? Let's see. Nick Bonacotti. He played with Miami. Yeah, I remember hearing his name on there. Yeah. Yeah. Mel Branch. I know that name. Smokey Stover, man. 25. 3 interceptions, man. That's crazy. All right. Well, let's get into 1960 motherfucking 4. 1964. Let's get it. Let's get it. 1964, man. 1964, man. The Cleveland Browns win the league championship in 1964, man. All right. Now, let's get into it. So, Johnny Unitas wins MVP. And he wins MVP in 1964. And he had 2,000 yards, man, with 19 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. That is a great touchdown to interception ratio, man. He looked good. Baltimore also went 12-2. And they got to the championship game. They just got their ass beat. That's all. They got their ass beat. So speaking of said championship, let's check it out and see. So Cleveland obviously had home field advantage, man. Because I guess their winning percentage would have been a little bit better because they did get a tie. Don Shula is the coach of the Baltimore Colts, man. This is year 2 for him at age 33. So he got them going pretty fucking fast, man. Pretty fucking fast. So um he did his thing, man. He did his thing. He did his motherfucking thing. So obviously Don Shula being young and wiry got that team going pretty good, man. But Cleveland had just a little too much, man. A little too much, man. Shout out Lou Groza, man. So Lou Groza, for our youngsters out there, at the end of the year, you watch the award show for the college football season, right? And the best kicker in the country wins the Lou Groza Award. That is for the best kicker in the country. So, just so y'all know that, that's what happens. Dude's a fucking beast. Let's just say that. He's a beast. He did a lot of kicking. Man. Not the most accurate kicker, but damn it, he was good. He was good. He did his job, man, especially in this game, man. He started off the points, man. So Johnny Unitas wasn't pretty. 2 interceptions. But Frank Ryan was good. He was good and he knew what to do. You know, he got 3 touchdowns passing though. So he was balling. But, you know, they had balance that day. That's what it looked like. They had a lot of balance that day. You know, quarterback doing good. Get a ball to Jim Brown. That works, man. And they ended up winning the championship, man. They did. They did. So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. All right. So let's go to the next thing. So obviously Johnny Unitas wins MVP. Charlie Taylor wins Rookie of the Year. He was drafted in the second round of the AFL draft, but he was drafted in the first round for the Redskins, 3rd overall. So I would take the 3rd round overall, or 3rd overall pick. I'd take that over anything. So it looks like he played multiple positions. So he's a receiver, split end, and a running back. So he got like 700 yards rushing with 800 yards receiving. Baller. That's what it looked like. He was a goddamn baller. He's a second team all pro as a rookie. Shit. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Played with the Redskins for a long time. Long time. And he just passed away too, 2022. Arizona State too. Go Devils. Let's see, Jim Brown. Let's see some passing. Let's see some stats, man. Hold up, before we do that. Who's the worst team in the league? The Giants? Damn, that's a fall from grace. They was pretty damn good. Damn, that sucks. Damn. Everybody getting older though. Like they this is like the end of that shit though. All of them dudes that won or went to them title games like in the 50s and shit, they getting old as fuck. Y.A. Tittle 30. Who was that? Frank Gifford 34. How old is Sam Huff? He got to be like 30 at this point. Yeah, Sam Huff got to be like 30. He might not be on the team no more. He might be in Yeah, he might be it. What's the name? Yeah, I don't know. But all them dudes old as hell now. Yeah, they all old. Man, they getting there. Yeah, the Packers under Vince Lombardi is struggling. Like they ain't even got there. Yeah, yeah, they ain't even got there yet. Not yet. But they about to get good though. They about to get real good. About to get so good that nobody else is good. That's how good they about to get. All right, so Charlie Johnson of the St. Louis Cardinals leads the league in passing this year. Let's see what he have. 60, was it 64? So he had a little bit. Like he had a little bit. Like he had 3,000 yards, but he also had 24 interceptions, 21 touchdowns. Like not the prettiest, but you got the job done. But you can tell his decision making kind of hurt the team a little bit. But I mean, they still went 9-3-2. Like, but imagine having two ties, bro. That's crazy. And it's the Giants too. The same Giants who's like the last team in the league. They're the last team in the league, and you get a tie with them. That's so bad. That's so bad, bro. Yeah, he didn't have a good game either. He couldn't hit nothing. Nothing, man. Then you tie with Cleveland, bro. That's the crazy part about it. You tie with Cleveland. Oh man, that's crazy, bro. I need to see that game. I need to see that game, bro. I need to see that game, bro. So they tied with them. That's crazy. All right, so Crow scores. Luke Rosa gets 2 field goals. They get a field goal. Luke Rosa gets another field goal. The Cardinals get a field goal. Then Paul Warfield, one of the best receivers ever, gets a touchdown. They take the lead. Then the Cardinals get a touchdown. All right. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So it looks like the Browns go into halftime with the lead. And then they score after halftime and then score again on the field goal. And then the Browns score. And we go into the fourth tied up, right? And then Charlie Johnson throws a touchdown pass. So he didn't play that bad. So he got 3 passing touchdowns in this game, right? Luke Rosa is like killing it, like absolutely killing it. He making all his field goals and extra points. And then, then they trade another field goal from Luke Rosa. That's 26, right? So St. Louis still winning, right? And then Jim Brown scores a touchdown. They take the lead, and then they tie it with a field goal at the end. So I want to say they weren't close enough to try to go for the win. That's what I want to say. I want to say that's what it is. That was a good game, though. That was a good game. I would have paid to see that motherfucker. I wonder if my pop saw that game. He probably did. He probably saw that game, bro. Wally Lamb. Yeah, I remember that name from 63. Well, early. Well, yeah, 60, 61. Yeah, he coached the Oilers to a championship and then left to go to the NFL. They probably offered him some more money. Like, we got to kill this league. Let's take their championship coach. Nah, it didn't work like that. But Charlie Johnson was balling though, man. He was balling. Okay. So, yeah, he threw a lot of interceptions, but He was doing his thing, man. That's pretty cool. All right, and like I told y'all see the ascension of Fran Tarkenton. Fran Tarkenton started to get real good around this time, man. He get that Pro Bowl, man. That's his first one. Then Bart Starr, man. Obviously he 30, right? But he one of those ones. Like I said, Roman Gabriel starting to, get his foot in the door a little bit. He 24. Fran Tarkenton 24, right? You're starting to see the future of the league start to form now, right? The next wave of guys that's going to take you into the 70s, right? The late 60s into the 70s. So you start to see that John Brody, man, John Brody, obviously not the most accurate quarterback around, but he was good too. He was good. He was good into his, late 30s, right? But he been with the San Francisco 49ers, man, for a while, bro. That's my favorite logo. I don't give a shit what nobody say. I love that shit. Ask Brandon. I love that shit. But he was there for a long time, man. So I wonder, something though. So John Brody was there for a long time, right? But if you know football like I know football, you know that Steve Spurrier was drafted by the 49ers after winning the Heisman. Was he on the team yet? I need to see that. No, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. So when the fuck did Steve Spurrier get on the team? I'm curious. Nope. Not yet. Because Steve Spurrier was drafted like really, really high. Let me see something. Hold on. So I won't be fucking up. Spurrier. So he's a football coach, obviously. But he was also a quarterback. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He drafted in the first round, won the Heisman in 1966. He was a first round pick of the 49ers, like I said, but he was a backup and the punter. Right. Yep. Backup and thing. So was that 1967? Right on. Yep. But I don't know why you would draft a guy though. Why would you draft him in 67 though? Yeah, why would you draft Steve Spurrier? That makes no sense. Okay, now it does. Now it does. So John Brody was 32 when they drafted him. He had already been there for like 10 years at that point, almost 10 years. So they were preparing for the future, but the future never came. They wasted a draft pick on that one, man. If you was gonna draft Steve Spurrier, which you ended up drafting him what, first round, third overall? Like, if you was gonna draft him third overall, Bubba Smith was hella good too. He was hella good. Like hella good. He's one of those ones, bro. He was good. Bubba Smith was good. But I mean, you draft Steve Spurrier, which makes sense if you were going to play him. That makes no sense. Makes no sense why you would do that. Yeah, that makes no sense. Especially if John Brody's gonna be playing so long. You know what I'm saying? It ain't make no sense. All right, so like I said, John Brody, Bart Starr, Don Meredith, right? He was good with the Cowboys for a long time. He was there for a while when they got good late in the 60s. Yeah, because they was kind of ass early, especially when Tom Landry took the fuck over. When Tom Landry took over, they was ass, bro. Oh my God, they were so bad. But they got good. They got good, especially in the late 60s, man. They went toe to toe with the Packers, man, a couple times. Packers beat that ass though. Those Packers was cheating, man. They was cheating. They had too many good ass players, man. All right, so Jim Brown, obviously, is the guy. He's the guy. He's still good. 28 years old, leading the league in rushing, 5 yards a carry, like 100 yards a game. Another All-Pro season. But shout out John Henry Johnson, man, finishing second in rushing that year. Second in rushing at 35. At 35, man. Like his later years, he was cooking, dog. I don't know what got into him. But the Steelers was ass, bro. They was ass. Ooh, they was bad. They was bad, bro. But he was cooking though. So he got that shit done. Yeah, so Charlie Taylor, like I said, he was one of those ones. And then who led the league in receiving? So Johnny Morris, 92. No, 93, 93 receptions, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. Paul Warfield, like I said, Charlie Taylor, he was good. Dave Parks was good. Dave Parks was hella good, bro. Hella good. Texas Tech, man. Yeah, he was hella good. Oh my God, he was so good. Like I said, and Gale's still playing. He's still getting all pros, so he good. Jackie Smith, like I said, that tight end. Once you start seeing guys like John Mackey, you start to see tight ends start to do some damage, bro. And Jackie Smith was one of the best tight ends ever. Right? So you're starting to see some guys get up in there, man. He got the most touchdowns. So Bobby Mitchell, obviously, with the Redskins, he was hella good. And Johnny Morris, goddamn, what was he on? It was one hit season for real. What the fuck they get into? They 5-9. George Allen. Defensive coordinator George Allen with the Redskins. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. George Halas was the principal owner and the head coach, but his son, George Halas Jr., was the president and general manager of the team. Ain't nothing better than on-the-job training, Shit. Like, shit, I'm getting old, man. You're going to have to learn how to do this shit eventually. All right, let's check out the AFL 64, man. Let's check it out. All right, so 64, man, we're inching closer and closer to the merger. Closer and closer, right? We inching a little bit closer. So the Bills win the East and the Chargers win the West, right? So Buffalo ends up winning the AFL title. Right, so let's see, man. So 7, then 7-3. All right, so Chargers start off the game pretty fucking good. They just didn't do nothing for the rest of the game. They must have forgot. So Jack Kemp runs in, so the quarterback run. Field goal outside. Yeah, but the Bills get that title, man. Shit, it's not a Super Bowl, but it does count as a win. You won your league. So technically they won the championship. So they're not 0-4, just 0-4 in Super Bowl. But not in championships though. Man, let's see some defense, man. Let's see some defense. Man. All right, so Paul motherfucking Krause, man. Let's fucking go. 64 was his first motherfucking season, bro. Are you serious right now? Are you serious? Paul Krause had 12 interceptions. Now, keep in mind, people, this is the all-time leading interception leader in NFL history. But one, he started off on the Redskins, and then they got rid of him. No, you gotta sign him because he just went to the Minnesota and just dominated, man. That's crazy. This is his first season. He was a second round pick. What? He was a second round pick. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. You come out the gate. You come out the gate, bro. Oh my God. You come out the gate, bro. That's crazy. That's NFL. My bad. I didn't even look at defense. God damn. That motherfucker got 12. Jesus. Sam Huff is on the Redskins now. Okay. But he got a Pro Bowl at 30. That's crazy. Mel Renfro, 23. On the Cowboys, he got 7 interceptions. Jesus. What are y'all on? What is y'all on, man? Paul Krause with 12 interceptions in your rookie season, bro. That is turning the fuck up. Like, how does he not win Rookie of the Year? I get Charlie Wilson was good. He ran and he passed, but this is crazy. That's crazy. 1.5 sacks, bro. That's nasty work, man. That's nasty. That is nasty. That's nasty, dog. That's nasty, man. All right, let's see. Because we gotta shut this down in a little bit, man. But the Boston Patriots, shout out to my boy Brandon, Brown. The Boston Patriots, Brown, led the league in passing, man. 3,465, 31 touchdowns, led the league. Damn, Lynn Dawson up there, man. Really good touchdown interception ratio. He was gunning. And I like it. Like who had an interception? George Blanda was just throwing that shit anywhere. He's like, man, fuck this shit. Somebody, they down there somewhere. That's what he was saying. Fuck it, man. Damn. Cookie Gilchrist, man. Okay, he's a champion too. And he motherfucking led the league in rushing, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. Receiving yards. Charlie Hannigan with the motherfucking this dude's stupid, man. He went dumb. That's crazy, man. 1,700 yards, 1,500 yards. That's crazy. That is absolutely nuts, man. That's nuts production, bro. Lance Allworth led the league in touchdowns. Don Maynard, 29, 8 touchdowns, man. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, so let's see. AFL, so Tom Sistak, Buffalo. So they had some players on Buffalo at this time, bro. That's wow. Bobby Bell, 24 years old. God damn, he young. He young. And then got an all-pro that season, man. That's crazy production. You start to see how these players start to come in this league balling. Buck Buchanan on the Chiefs as well. So they're not the Dallas Texans no more. So Buck Buchanan was good. Damn. That's crazy work. Who led league interceptions? Denard Paulson with the Jets. 11. Was that Willie Brown? That ain't Buffalo, is it? No, that's Oakland. He was in Oakland. Okay, yeah. But shit, he came out gunning. It's 64. He got 9 interceptions, bro. That's crazy. He was good in Oakland. He got a Super Bowl, too. Yeah, he got a Super Bowl with Oakland. What was they thinking? Why would Denver get rid of him? That's so stupid. That's stupid. Then you send him to Oakland of all places. Like he was good with fucking Denver. And he sent him to Oakland, he just balled the fuck out. Like that's nasty. That's nasty, man. That's nasty. But there we go, man. That's what's up. What's up? AFL draft. Who got drafted first overall? All right, so Jack Concannon, Boston College. I don't know if he play with. Yeah, he didn't go to the AFL. He was picked first, but he didn't go. Yeah, Carl Eller, Buffalo, but he ain't played with Buffalo. He went to the NFL and played with the Vikings for a long time. He was good too. Let's see who else in that motherfucker, man. That's not the Jim Kelly I know. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But that's part two. Part two, man. Part two of our time machine series, man. That's part two. Like I said, trying to keep it like an hour. So y'all can enjoy this journey with me. So it's not just me blah 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 blah. Oh my god, are you serious? You know what I'm saying? So you can really just enjoy the journey with me, and get in this comment box and tell me like you should have knew that. I'm like, dude, I wasn't alive. I can't help it. I love this type of shit. But we're gonna continue with part 3 of this series. After this, it'll probably be made tonight, maybe even tomorrow. But I hope y'all really enjoy this when it comes out. I'm finding out shit just like y'all. Now, some shit I know because I've done some research, but some stuff is really, really cool, man. So I hope you guys enjoy this journey with me. And we're going to continue with part 3 as we go into 60, 65, and we start to find out who the new stars are, man. So as we inch closer and closer to the merger of 1970. So let's just keep going and let's have fun in this time machine, man. So I'm Cam, football frame of mind. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.